Yo, 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 I really had to stand up because sitting is literally going to kill you one day. And sitting is just a habit that also comes from weakness. And sitting is also something that comes from a weak back, a weak lower back. And so I've been training standing in all kinds of places, but especially at work, because I realized actually my legs were quite weak. And so training standing and also learning how to balance properly. I think there's something else I must do before I continue with this. All right. I'm actually not quite sure where I left off because I paused the recording. I did some things that scared me. And what I would like to talk about in this episode, on this recording, is actually, rapé. Not just rapé, because I don't think you have to do rapé to look at the things inside of you. Because the way I've experienced it multiple times now is that emotions, fears, and I would consider fear to be some form of emotion. Just a second. But these things actually have a face. And well, maybe I have to reach out a bit to something. I was watching a video the other day, today or yesterday, I think it was today. And it was I don't know, maybe a Korean singer, a woman. And there were translated lyrics into English. And I mean, it quite shocked me. You know, sometimes you listen to music, and when you hear what they are actually saying, I mean, it's quite revealing. And so I've just been reading, it was like a pop song, right? And the way these music videos are often shot, there's a lot of change in camera perspective. And so you could say there's a lot of distraction to keep you hooked, right? It's like bam, bam, bam. They're just hammering you with sexy images. Because what they want is, when they create such videos, of course, is to keep you hooked, but also to confuse you. So, you know, they just take a couple of women and they put them into really sexy outfits. And these outfits will, of course, vary across the video. And I often have the feeling they're doing this so that you're actually unable to really see who's performing. So they're trying to hide behind all the glamour and behind all these fancy words and all that kind of fake beauty. Because this is all, I don't know, photoshopped or whatever they use. There's all kinds of makeup on these faces. And they don't write these songs themselves. So probably like Ariana Grande, you know, these are just gimmicks. You know, it's just a sexy young girl who's being used by the industry to make money. And I mean, that's for the price of their own dignity. Like, she has to act like a little girl that's super sexy, and she has to wear these ridiculous costumes because what she sells is sex. Until nobody wants her anymore. And then she's been used up and thrown into a corner, and then she's going to probably try to get back into the spotlight. But that also means that, right, these girls, they're kind of desperate for love, right? So they want to be appreciated. They want to be looked at. Because they want to show you, listen, that's who I am. But now you just have to find a man, that's strong enough to love such a woman, because most women, as I've realized it, they're quite fed up. Because women also have emotions. I mean, that's like women, right? It's like the female side of creation. That means that's like pure chaos. I mean, nature is chaos. That's if you have the yin and the yang, then the feminine is the black. Because in the womb of the woman, new life is being created and brought into the light. So that's what means inside the woman there's a lot of darkness. And it's therefore the seed of man, because the male side is more like this higher wisdom and you know certain things, but different than a woman. It's more like men are more intellectual for a reason. And that means a man also has to connect with his female side, of course, but it's still more male. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm kind of losing track. That if you look at these videos, and I looked at it, and I listened to about 1 minute of the lyrics, I more read them. And then I looked at all these images, and what they were saying in the music was stuff like, oh, you don't have to think about stuff, you just have to be, don't worry about all these things, just look at me, right? This is how they make music. They suck you into worshipping them, to create in you the belief that you can never be as good or beautiful or sexy as them. But that's, of course, a fantasy. And the reason they do that is because they want your energy. And money is energy, time is energy. And as long as you watch that stuff, you're investing your life's energy into people you will never get anything from. They're just going to suck you dry. And, that's for people who have nothing to give, They're giving their last penny of love to watching these kinds of videos. And then it makes them feel kind of good for a moment. But in the end, they feel more depleted and they don't even know why. And that's why watching TikTok, and I believe also these short videos, where people just do stupid stuff to get a laugh out of you, that's not going to get you anywhere. And if I listened to the lyrics, I don't know, wait, let me see. Maybe I can find it again. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, funny. Where? Oh. That's the one. I'm gonna turn off the sound. Because we don't really need that to read lyrics, right? And now, so it says la 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 la. All right. Oh, wait. Okay. The lyrics were in German. I don't want that. Because I have to translate. Okay. La 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 la. Okay. Again you ask me what I'm thinking about. Not my business, don't know myself. Just following my heart playing, kind of like you, love or like, it's hide and seek, yeah. There's no right or wrong. Like the Cheshire Cat, it's all right. Stop asking, you're boring. All is up to me, play a trick. Just want to pause this for a second. Now I look at all of these girls, and when I look truly in their eyes and behind those masks, I see like, they're quite vicious. These are not nice women or girls. And so what they say, right, stop asking, you're boring. I mean, just think about what that means. A lot of these, I don't know how you call them, Gucci girls or these glamour girls, they're like, oh, why do you have to think so much? Oh, you're so boring, right? There's no right or wrong. I would like to disagree, because we live in a world of duality. And that means, right, you have oneness, which is all, everything, which includes right and wrong. So in that sense, maybe they're right, because, yeah, there's no right or wrong, there's right and wrong. Because it's always both. So something which is right for you may be wrong for somebody else. But how do you know, right? So you have to figure it out for yourself. So you have to ask questions. And what I've learned from every person, if you read Moby Dick, if you read Watership Down, if you read all kinds of books, especially these kind of old ones, what you see in there is that these people have asked lots of questions. They've looked at rabbits for hours and hours on end, and they started to find some kind of meaning in the behavior of rabbits that allowed them to see humans in a different way, just as I have learned to see humans in a different way by watching monkeys for hours on end. And so let's just keep going a bit into the song. There's no right or wrong. So this song is trying to tell you, oh, stop thinking. Just watch my video. Right? This is how, deception works. And of course, all these, like the Cheshire Cat, it's all right. Well, what does that mean, like the Cheshire Cat? I mean, have you read Alice in Wonderland? Like, the Cheshire Cat is absolutely mad. The reason why the Cheshire Cat is grinning is because of its madness. Because everyone in Wonderland is mad. But the thing is, the characters in Wonderland, they don't try to deceive you. They don't pretend to be anything but mad. They say it, everybody's mad here. They know. They don't pretend to make sense, right? So if I look at a scientist who takes a scalpel to cut open mice, I mean, that's madness. And if I read The Lord of the Rings And that's something that you don't get from watching the movies. That's something that you get from reading the book, because the book doesn't confuse you with its images. It doesn't plant certain ideas of how a scenery looks like or how people look like. The book just tells you a story, and you fill it with your own mind, your own imagination, and your own story, And so what Gandalf says to Saruman is, he who takes a thing apart to understand what it is has lost the path of wisdom. That means you can look at things and ask questions, and you can take it apart until you know what it is. You don't have to move a single stone for that. Right? You can look at a society for hours on end to understand what the deal of the society is. And the reason why Gandalf said this to Saruman is because he was meddling with all kinds of things. He was breeding orcs with humans to create stronger versions of orcs. And that's basically science. And I mean, you've seen what became of Saruman. And in the book, that's much more detailed. So I recommend to anyone to just read it once. Especially if you like wizards and stuff. Just read it. I mean, it's really worth your time. And I've got a lot out of reading books. And, I suggest you start with The Hobbit because that's a much easier read. Or you just listen to it as an audiobook if you don't feel like reading. Right, and then again, this stop asking, you're boring. All is up to me, play a trick. Yeah, well, all is up to me. Like, what is up to you? Right? She's pointing her finger at herself so that you don't take the time to look at yourself, but you just marvel at her. I had once a conversation with a young man who was going through all kinds of things, like also depression and stuff. And in the end, he said, because we had a long conversation and I talked to him probably for 2 hours, while I did most of the talking. And at the end of that call, he said to me, I'm trying to figure out what the deal is with you. And then I said, no, don't do that. Don't think about what's up with me. You have to start thinking about what's up with you. Because, I'm not the one that needs to talk to you. I mean, I have to, because certainly I had to tell him certain things. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that conversation. But you see, a lot of people are wondering about the people they see in the videos, while they should be wondering about themselves. They should be asking themselves, why do I watch these videos? Right? The only reason I overcame pornography, which I feel like I can safely say now, is because I kept watching it with the intention of trying to figure out why I'm still watching it. Like, what's missing in my life that makes me run back to porn over and over again? What am I trying to find in there? And I gathered a lot of information. I mean, I gathered so much information that I could write an entire book about this kind of stuff. And this is all by asking questions. And now that's the next line in that song. There's no answer to what you want to know. And that's absolute bullshit. I mean, this is absolute deception. This is keeping people in a state of dumbness or numbness. Oh, you want to ask yourself, why you are a certain way? Well, that's so stupid. Well, why it is absolutely necessary to let yourself be and to allow yourself to be. Sometimes you just have to look at, why am I like this? Why have I become like this? What in my life has and is contributing to me being the way I am? Like so stiff, so bored, so angry. If I wouldn't have asked questions for now, I don't know, I think my entire life I have asked questions, but only in the last 4 years I've been like really at it. Like I've been asking everything, but only about myself. So it's not good to wonder about other people. You have to wonder about yourself. And then you suddenly become the wonder of your own life. You start marveling at yourself. Wow, I'm such... Like, look at my hands. I mean, it's amazing. Like, how could you never see how amazing hands are? Like, you can just spend 10 minutes a day looking at your hands, and you will probably find new things every day. Like, I don't know. What's a lifeline? I don't know. So, right, there's no answer to what you want to know. That's basically taking away your hope or your wish to outgrow yourself. I mean, that's like, these kind of videos are basically designed for depressed girls. Because the way I see it, you know, this girl is like pictured there. I mean, she has kind of an Asian face, but it doesn't matter. And she has makeup on her face that looks like tears are running down her eyes. So she's looking at thousands of girls that feel the way she's looking now. And then the song says, there's no answer to what you want to know. So stop asking questions because, you know, just look at me. I'll give you a hint if you want, but the rest just let me be free in your mind. What? Let me roam. You see how this happens? People start obsessing with those idols on the internet. And because they basically worship idols, they become idle. Right? You know, because they put an idol onto a pedestal, right? I don't know, take Christian Bale. Maybe you worship him as an actor. Oh, he's so cool, he's so nice. But he's not. He's just an actor. I mean, he's being paid to lie about who he is. And all the things he does in movies are backed up by, I don't know, hundreds of people making sure that he doesn't injure himself. Or that if he has like sweat running down his brow, somebody comes and wipes it off. Right? If he wants certain foods, they'll bring it for him. So you see, these people are used to being carried around. And you're looking up to them because you think they're better than you. And now she says, I mean, that's just crazy. But the rest just let me be free in your mind. That's what it says. So instead of having yourself in your mind, you have her in your mind. So you always focused on some kind of famous person that wants your attention because that's how they make money, of course. While what you should be doing is wondering about yourself. You know, what makes me happy? Who do I want to be? Who am I? You know, that's the kind of questions you have to ask yourself. I'm just gonna, hey, why so serious? Just trust what you see. Just trust what you see. You're seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half-naked girls standing like in front of a green screen with some artificial stuff. And, I mean, what am I supposed to trust here? I'm just looking at your crotch. I mean, that's not who you are. Like, give me 10 minutes with you alone in a room, and I'm probably gonna make you so angry just by ignoring you and saying nothing. You know, that's then who you are. And that's what I've realized with a lot of people, you know, that try to tell me who they are, But when I really found out who they were was often when I just said nothing. When I just was in their presence, saying nothing, completely ignoring them. Because famous people aren't used to being ignored. They're used to people sucking up to them. Don't complicate it, they say. Well, life's complicated. Figure it out. Nothing's wrong, right? Can you see me? Hey, why so curious? Trust your gut, not your logic. Just take it easy. Anything's right. La 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 la. My smile is strange, but you still like me. Yeah, feel so free. I'll be gone when you close your eyes, but I'll leave my smile here. In the dark, shining eyes. Someone might find their path. With my light, I want to go. Look, 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 look closely. Follow now for the next story. You're still wondering. Look at your face, la 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 la. What the fuck? Hey, why so serious? Just trust what you see. Don't complicate it. Nothing's wrong, right? Can you see me? Hey, why so curious? Trust your gut, not your logic. You see, why so curious? What's bad about being curious? I mean, a child learns because of its curiosity. You know, a child learns through playing and not through just watching other people. The only reason a child learns to walk is because it's actually curious probably about finding out how to walk. And now, you know, it's all like controversial what they say, something about path. You know, they just throw in some words that somehow catch you, but you're not going to get anything out of this song. If you take it word for word, you have to actually look at the whole thing and then re-look at these people. I mean, you can just imagine that these people aren't nice people. They're just fucked up. Otherwise, just take it easy, right? It's like, yeah, relax. Just sit on the couch. Just sit on the couch and do nothing. La la la, la la la, there it comes again. Why so serious? See, that's all. There's nothing else in that song. Yeah, la 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 la. The intentions behind me, I don't know what I want. Yeah, why does that matter so much? We're gonna do it right. Will you join me? It's right in front of you. Just enjoy the moment like that. You see, that's just this basically planting in the minds of people this kind of lazy attitude. You don't have to do anything. And now I have to pause. All right. So what I'm trying to say is life is really confusing, and so are you. Like, it's all a kind of a mystery, right? So unless you do ask questions, you're not going to get any answers. So if you feel terrible, and every time you feel terrible, you just turn on a movie or eat chips or listen to really aggressive music, you're not going to get any answers. But if you feel like listening to really aggressive music, you should just ask yourself, why do you want to do that? Because I got to a point where I said to myself, I'm not going to listen to music for a while because I actually want to make my own music. So I stopped listening to music and I started making my own. And that's where I want to introduce to you, if you are interested in just listening to music which will challenge you to work on your own beliefs and to try to figure out, okay, what's he actually trying to say? I think it's like a bit of a riddle. Well, check it out. It's also linked on my website. It's also on YouTube. It goes under Barbarian Lunatic. But there was one specific experience that I want to share with you. And it was just a couple of days ago. And, I'm in the middle of some kind of process where I'm just processing a lot of emotions that I've been feeling for a while now and that made me really angry and really heavy. And so I've been working with rapé, which is an Amazonian snuff, like tobacco with all kinds of ashes and herbs, like made by a shaman somewhere in the rainforest. And with the intention of healing people, right? And connecting yourself with yourself. But it's, like I said, quite heavy. Anyway, I'm in the middle of this kind of process where I just look into myself, turn things out, and then keep doing that. So I'm like shoveling shit, emotional shit, out of the depth of myself. And then I look at it, and then I do something creative with it. And so I was lying, basically on the ground. I don't really have a bed. I just have this kind of thin mattress, which also keeps me from getting too comfortable, I have the feeling. Plus, it's also much better for my back. So I was laying there, and I felt kind of heavy, and I closed my eyes. And in front of my eyes, because I close my eyes and I look at the back of my eyes, basically, to see what kind of shapes I see there. And a really disgusting looking face came up. Like, it looked really disgusting. Like, I don't know, terror or whatever. I don't know what these things are. Is this like emotions? Is this demonic? It's quite confusing. It certainly scares me. And anything that scares you, right? People have a tendency, including myself, that if something scares me, I start to demonize it. I say, that's bad. Yeah. Well, from the standpoint of fear, and then it certainly is, from the standpoint of love, you can just say, well, that's what it is, right? And so I was lying there, and I saw this in front of my face, and then, I just wanted to look at it, and then I also felt quite nauseous. I often feel a bit nauseous, because there's a lot of emotions, like running havoc in my stomach. And so a feeling came up when I saw that image. It's more like a voice. Sometimes I just, hear my own voice saying something to me. Do this now, and then I'll just do it. I don't really ask a lot of questions. If it feels right, I'll just do it. And the voice said, do rapé now. And I was like, nah, I don't want to. Do it now. You've seen it. You have to get it out of your system. And so I got up, and I felt really heavy. I felt like really heavy, and something certainly didn't want me to do this. I did it anyway. And when I did it, I felt so empty that I kind of shat my pants. Well, in the moment, I felt just like something, like I've just faced death or something. And when I did rapé in that moment, something happened, and I had the feeling this is what caused me to watch porn all these years. Because I've been watching it ever since I was 16. And I tried for years now to get away from it. I never managed, at least not for extended periods of time. But all the work I've been doing until now somehow led up to this moment. Because my intention was, I kept watching porn. But my intention was to watch it, to understand it, until it loses its charm. Because porn is trying to charm you into feeling like it's going to give you something, it's making you feel good. But if you really start looking at it, it's just disgusting. And that was the face I saw in front of my eyes. It was like, fuck, that's really disgusting. It's like horrific. And it might be that it's maybe some kind of emotional thing from within myself, from an experience I had as a child maybe. And maybe that experience started me to run away from those feelings by watching porn. And then it became a habit that every time I felt like this, I just wanted to watch porn. And I did that. And after that happened, I had the feeling it's over now. I did watch one more porn, and ever since then, not anymore. But it's not like it used to be. You know, this fear of, I'm gonna watch it again, and it's somehow gone. After I did this, something really changed in me from one day to the next. But if you look at all the work I've done, emotional work, spiritual work, sadhana, call it what you want, leaving my comfort zone, facing my fears, chasing my visions and my dreams. I mean, there's a lot of work in really stopping to watch porn, quenching the desire to watch porn, but also be okay with letting go of it. That's how it felt like. And I feel different. Like every day I normally had the feeling, oh, I want to watch porn now. Oh, I want to watch porn now. Now it's just gone. And that includes my wish to masturbate. And ever since that happened, I had 2 or 3 times where I was just laying on my back, sometimes after rapé or just like this, where I was like placing my hands on my stomach and just focusing energy on the inside, and just stuff happened. And then I got to this place of bliss where I felt so happy, so orgasmic for I don't know how long. You know, I've never felt like this in my life. So whatever I've been doing seems to be working. Whatever I've been doing until now seems to be working, and I also feel less tired. So, right, it's hard to explain any of this to you in words. You have to make your own experiences and just start slowly. Because emotions actually can have shapes and faces. They can look like, I don't know, some kind of entity or some kind of beast. These emotions I've been putting into my pictures, they're certainly things that I had in myself that I felt like. Like I felt like this angry dragon spitting fire and biting anybody who just wanted to come close. So even the prospect of being together with a woman that would love me hurt so much that I could do nothing but scream. And that's what I've been doing a lot. You know, I've been basically screaming everything out through my creative work. And I think with that being said, I can let it go.